Hey guys, sorry about that. I didn't press the play button on the music. That was my bad. Hold on. I'm still setting a couple of things up, but as soon as I, of course, started the stream, I needed to go get a tissue, so that's why I was a little late with the starting of the stream, or why the starting screen was on so long. All right, as stated in the description, we are going to review lesson 8. Um, since we're going on to something new, it's not just the angles and stuff. I just want to take more than one day to go over it. I think. Hold on. Yeah, because then you go on to. Oh, interesting. So this lesson is going to be drawing 3 squares to make 2 rectangles, which is pretty cool. So you know what? I am gonna. My description lies. We're going to go to lesson 9 because it's basically, it builds upon lesson 8, and it's drawing essentially 3 squares to draw 2 rectangles. So I'm going to move onward, I guess. Yeah, we'll move onward. But it looks like, but I do want to sit with these 2 lessons for this week because we're starting to move into more advanced territory. Because as you can see, once we get to lesson 10, we're going to be starting to incorporate a lot of different shapes. And then the same with lesson 11, lesson 10, and lesson 11, you do different shapes. And then lesson 12, you go into depth. So we don't, I really want to make sure I get the lesson down. So let's see. Do 2 days on lesson 8, 2 days on lesson 9, and then review lesson 8 and lesson 9 this week. So this week's just going to be lesson 8 and lesson 9. And I think that's kind of how it's going to be. It's going to probably be 2 lessons a week. And that should be fine. 2 lessons a week should get us pretty far in the book, which, and then we'll just have to see as those go. I'm not too worried about it. So let me grab a piece of paper that we can use and get started. Today might be a little weird too. I might get interrupted halfway through the stream. I'm expecting a phone call for something. So if I get that phone call, I'm gonna have to stop. I was supposed to start the stream like a half hour ago. That's why I didn't expect to be interrupted. So now I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna get interrupted or not. Okay. So I'm sorry if I confused people at the beginning of the stream. I'll recap what's going to happen. We're going to review lesson 8 and then today. And then we will move on to lesson 9 tomorrow. We'll do that for 2 days and then review lesson 8 and 9 on Friday. Friday's kind of like review day, I guess. It's good because these really do build up on these lessons really do build upon one another, so it's really good to have the lesson down before moving on to another one. I was lazy last night and I didn't clean the desk. So I'm sorry. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just cleaning the desk because I didn't do it. I was lazy last night and it's bugging me today because I'm more awake today. This is why I moved the streams from night to day. I'm a little bit more awake, a little bit more ready to go. Active, that's the word. A little more active. Okay. Oh, right. So, we are now drawing a square. You start with points A, B, which is the perpendicular line on the left, and then you make the line AC, which is going to be the horizontal line on top, before making the point D, which will then make the lines BD and CD. And that is all to create equal lengths and 90-degree angles. Okay. So it doesn't matter where we put A as long as there's enough space to do more than one square. All right. That should be a pretty decent size length. Yeah, I'm checking the length to make sure it's right where I want it. Yeah, it's pretty comparable to yesterday's, I guess. It's a little bit shorter, actually, than yesterday's. Make it a little bit longer and more to the left. And I do have another carbonated water. I realized that I called it bubbly water yesterday, and I wasn't talking about the brand bubbly. So I did not mean to mention a brand of water that I am drinking. I just was talking about how carbonated water bubbles and using that as an adjective. So I'm sorry if that was confusing. I probably should put that on the other video, but that's fine. I'm not too worried about it right now. But yeah, I like carbonated water, and I like using non-official terms like, oh, it has bubbles in it, bubbly. Okay. And I am drinking carbonated water again. I don't know. It's nice though because it doesn't have sugar like soda or sweetener. I'm not very fond of very sweet things anymore. The dot was right on, like right where it needed to be, but I made the line slanted for some reason. Oh, I might have to start putting in just doing exercises before we start drawing. Before we start doing the exercise, I need to do more warm-ups. That's what they're called. There we go. Okay. Now we need point C. That out of the way. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. Everything's okay. Hold on one second. I just want to bring this up real quick. Okay. Jeez. I didn't expect to be interrupted buy other things. Okay. That's ridiculous. Sorry about that. You know, I might end up having to do a shorter stream just because today is going that way, but we'll see. I really would like to do a longer stream. And it will eventually become longer. It was a change up on how things were being done, and that took a while to kind of figure out. So everything's kind of like settling down from the change of schedule and routine, and that should allow me. Yep, that dot is not in line, but it's at the E. And this is between the E and the B. So make this between the E and the B. Okay, so it just needs to be a little bit over and down a little bit. Yes. Not too high up. Right there. That's where that needed to be. Let's not slope the line. There we go. Non-sloped line. And now to get the D. Oh. My bad. Oh gosh. Today's going wonderfully. This is why I can't do late night streams, because then the next day I'm nuts. Sorry. I'm sorry for anything that happens on this stream today. Which is another reason why it's a good thing we're just reviewing today. I could imagine trying to figure out one of his new exercises right now. Okay. I think, nope, that is a little too high. It needs to be a little lower. Do the horizontal first because that one always messes with me the most. See? And then I don't want a thick line. And I know it's the point of the pencil that's being used, so hold on. There we go. Not too bad. Yep. Excellent. Cool. And they all measure the same length. So, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I do like games and I'll play games randomly. So I have been playing, it's this, like crafting games. I like the crafting games. Yeah, I did mention those. But that I started doing this because it was something that's like physical. where you actually have to physically do something and learn a skill. Whereas in a game, you just gather the materials and then look at you've crafted a perfect replica of what it is that you're trying to make. And as awesome as that is, it's not as fulfilling as doing something on your own, which is why I started doing this. Is like why I got the idea. I was like, I like crafting. I like doing all these stuff in a game on a digital forum. Let's see if I can like let's see what I can do in the real world, in the physical realm, where it takes longer and there's more effort and time needed to do it. But anyways, so like I still play the games. Okay, like I'm not away from technology just yet. It's probably gonna get there, especially since where I'm starting to plant our own vegetables and I did this wrong. I completely did this wrong. I was just like, yes, this is what we want. No, no, no. Hit the perpendicular line first. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that, and then we're looking into like raising some animals even, but that's not for like full years down the road. We're gonna see how we do with vegetables. If we can keep vegetables alive, then we'll start looking at other things. But as we get more and more in that, there's not going to be as much time to do games and stuff, which is, it's not a huge loss, right? When you're being productive in the real world and you have physical things that you're doing. When, like, I played the farm sims, right? So if I'm farming in real world, I'm not really losing a whole lot by playing a farm sim. Or by not playing the farm sim. I could see if you're playing in different games and stuff, that would be might be lost. And also depends on where you feel more fulfilled. For me, it's the physical world. And doing these crafts and things in the physical world. But anyways, I was playing the game. And there's a function where you can design, where you can like do pixel art in it, so you can like design your own pixel art. And I was actually able to design pixel art. I mean, it's not by any of the means like what some people are able to do at all, but I was actually able to do it, which I normally can't. So that was nice. It's like, look it, this is teaching me things. Doing this is teaching me things that I can use outside of just this. Another, which was the point of me bringing this up, another example of how many things fall into other things, and decompartmentalizing is very beneficial. That's what it meant. It's like, it's very, it was an example of that, which was pretty cool. To like just be able to see improvements in just a short period of time. Yeah, that's a good line. Right in between, yeah, it's right at the B and the O. Okay. So if I want that, I want it to be. Okay, I think that's it. So let's see, right between B and the O. Okay. I think this might. Yeah, that's a little too low. That's what. Alright, so this needs to be a little higher. And I'm going for the middle, in between the 2 points. I guess not. I guess it was, that point was right. I thought it was a little too low. But these are parallel, which they should be. Now for the D. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick pause. I'll be right back. That's what we want. All right. I am back. Sorry about that. I hope I wasn't too long. That was the interruption. It didn't take as long as I expected, so we are right back, and we can do a normal stream from now on, or from this point forward. All right. So I'm looking to see if this is even with that, and it looks like the bottom one is. Okay. So the lines should pretty much end. Oh gosh. Not there. That's not the. I was trying to make it this one right here. There. Okay. Right there. So let's draw this line first. There we go. And now we will be and I sloped that up for no reason. Oh my gosh. So I was thinking about the copy that we were working on, and I don't like those lines, so I'm thinking what's going to happen is we redo the set. Like, we get a new piece of paper and just set up a new sheet and work from there. Because I was not impressed. Or, not that I was not impressed, I just didn't. I don't like how it was going. So. This still is sloped, though. There we go. No, it's not. Alright, let's. I just realized we could potentially draw 6 squares today. There is enough room. I'm trying to decide if I want to or not. I think I want to. I know. But I really think this is gonna be good. It's gonna be really good practice. And I slipped the line. That's why I had to slope the line. Oh, no. Yeah, that's why I had to slope the line. Okay. There you go. So for those who weren't here for the last stream, these are the points that we're drawing. And there's a specific mental there's some mental steps you take depending for each point on the square. So the first point is getting AB to be a perpendicular straight line. Now we're going to get point C. Point C has to be a vertically straight line with a 0 slope, and it has to be the same length, the same distance as B is to A. So C has to be the same distance away. So these are just like the mental steps needed to take. You need to take depending on what part of the square you're working on, and this is the order that he does want you working to. This is the this is the order in which he wants you to work on that. So we're following that. This is going to be too short, I'm pretty sure. Let's just check. Yeah, I made this a really long line for some reason. Okay, so it's right at the... Right and there, okay. Yeah, this is really short. But oh yeah, it can be that long. Okay. So it needs to be over here. Alright, so we have it at the distance that needs to be. Now we just have to get it to line up. To make a straight line. So what you do is you do the 2 marks, and then you mentally make the line in your head. You check to see that it's straight, and then you draw the line to recheck that it's straight, and then you do the same process until you actually get it straight. Now we're getting point D. So what we're doing from here, and I'm talking because you're not really able to see it on the camera, is I'm looking to make the point directly underneath C and directly horizontal to B, and that is going to be point D. And that's how you're supposed to measure where D goes on the paper. I like to draw the perpendicular line first because that's the one I tend to get accurate easier. And then I get B. And then I draw the horizontal. Yeah, just a little, but that's okay. And that is point D. And then you could draw 2 more squares. I don't have the time to draw 3, but I can draw 2 more. And yeah, I do need to take a break because for some reason these exercises take a lot of mental energy, and it's like, okay, I'm not used to this. Let's break it. Let's take a break now. Oh, I'm sure as I do this more and more, it's not going to wind me. I've never had a kind of like when you're running and you get winded. It's the same thing, but it's like mental winded instead of physically winded. Like, I'm sure it won't be as bad the more I get used to this. But it takes a lot of focus, a lot of mental energy here to do this. Okay, so we're only going to do 2 more squares since I don't have that much time. I'm going to do them pretty, like a bit smaller than what I've been drawing them at, just because of the space. There's a straight line there, I promise. Alright, now to do C. Let's see. It's right at the O. It's a little short. I want to do a little bit longer. Same height though. It's going to be the top mark. And I just gotta remember if it's the right before the B or right before the N. Excellent. Okay. So right there. Now that looks to be a little too high. And now to find the D. Nope, that mark's wrong. It was this mark right here that was right. That's what I wanted to keep. Awesome. Oof. That does look slanted, but when you look like oh, that's because of the sloped line that I drew first. If you ignore that line and you just follow the actual lines, it's not sloped. Okay. Let's just retry it so then it looks right. Yep. There. Let's see if a smaller square is easier. needs to be higher, but let's just see. T at the T, excellent. This needs to be a little bit higher. Give myself a paper hit. No D. Cool. Alright. Taking a little break and we need to reset anyways because it is now time to work on a master copy. Oh, my hands are getting really dry. What are you doing? There you go. I guess they were messing around in here earlier. So let's put this away until tomorrow. And then so you're the one I'm gonna need if I need to redraw those. Oops. Yeah, the lines aren't straight. I didn't do any straight lines, so let's redo it. Use the back of this paper. I have to use my tape. Let me just cut the tape instead of folding it over. I don't want it to affect the other side. There we go. Yeah, you can just go there. That doesn't matter. Alright. Now we'll use the other side to work on oh no. That's something I did. I'm not able to do that. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Alright, stay like that for a second. Let's tape this up. And let's restart the prep. I just don't like how the lines ended up. There we go. I just want to make sure it's completely flat. Oh. Alright, there we go. Let's try that. So what I'm doing is I'm resetting up I'm setting up the basics, the basic outline for the drawing. So we traced a couple of things on here. I'm not going to, so this is pretty much the outline of the square and then the circle. That's not what I'm going to be doing with this. I'm not tracing any of this or copying that. What I'm going to be doing is just setting the marks for where the lengths and everything, because this is a proportional drawing, so the lengths and everything do matter. So I don't know, this is kind of what I came up with. I don't know if this is like the best way to do that, if this is like the top. I don't know anything about whether or not this is what I should be doing, but it works, so I'm gonna go with it. So this line right here is basically, it's kind of the highest point of the circle, as well as where the middle of the man is. So that's what this line is. These are the sides of the square, and then these two are the diameter of the circle. This is the height and length of the square, and then this is the circle. And the circle is very important for where the man's standing and his wingspan. The square is important because it's showing the height, his height, and his, like, when his arms are out straight instead of up a bit. So these are very important shapes, and that's why I want to make sure that I get them get their length as accurately as possible. So what I'm doing is I'm going to line up the paper, then I'm going to put a dot around where the mark is on here, and then I just work on that until I get the mark where I need it. And see, it's where I need it, so the other two marks can go. And I've got the first one. Now to get the other two marks that are up there. Okay. Oh, so close. I keep missing it. I'm gonna have to erase these two so I'm not distracted by them. Right on the side. Those are both wrong. That's what I need it to be. this one. Oh, close. So I want this one gone. I just need to make sure that dot isn't too short. I need to make sure it's exactly lined up. Yeah. Okay, so I just need to move it over just a little bit. There. And that's the line. Okay. Now for this part right here. It's very important that I don't really move. There we go. Yeah, okay, so it's just these 2 points. So I'm gonna get this one first. So close. Alright, so let's erase that mark. That mark right there. I don't want this mark. I don't want that. That's where I want it. And then two over right there. There we go. This needs to be a little bit better. There we go. Alright. Now these are, oh, I didn't get the, Alright, I need this one. Yeah, that's on the line, but 2 off of the line. Too far down, but it's right where I need it to be. Too far down. There we go. Except this part is still won't work. It's gotta be there. Alright, excellent. There we go. Alright, and that's the setup for the drawing. Right, so these are the points that I need. And that's what I've been using this for. So I traced this off of our copy, which guys can't see because I'm kind of like, it's not coming off of the desk. So, it's okay. I can show it in here. So these marks are essentially the highest point of the circle, lowest point of the circle. So it's like if you cross, and then I have the rectangle. Now as you can see, the circle is really important because these hit the sides of the circle, and these also hit the sides of the circle, then these hit the sides of the rectangle. So that's why I need to make sure this was the most accurate I could make it. I forgot where we were. Okay. So I'm going to make the cross points for the circle, and that is going to be where we end today. So I want to keep this line very light. I don't want any real color. I don't want it to be really dark at all. I need to make sure it is exactly. It is an extremely straight line. That's a little bit off. Alright. Cross points for the circle. Okay. A lot harder. It's more nerve-wracking because it's like, this needs to be perfect. Because if it's not perfect, the rest of the thing is going to be completely off kilter. Alright, this is all the time I have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow around the same time, and we will be working on lesson 9 and continuing on in this sketch. If you guys have any advice, comments, questions, or other resources I should be looking into while I'm learning how to draw, or even how to sculpt, or even like about sculpting or anything about like art history or stuff like that, please let me know in the comments below. I will look at it, and I'm very interested in learning as much as I possibly can. So until next time, I hope you all have a good day.